Hello, Simmons, and welcome to this workshop presented to you by the Writing Center. This workshop is titled Get Computer Lit, and this is part one. We proudly partner with Detail and the library to bring you this workshop. In this video, we're going to talk about some computer basics, and we're going to show you how to navigate around a computer and around some of the programs and apps that we have for you here at Simmons. So let's get started. First, let's talk a little bit about navigating your computer, your Chromebook, or whatever type of device you have. First, do you know the parts of your device? If you have a traditional desktop, you would likely have a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, and a tower. Do you know what those things do? Do you know their jobs? Well, obviously the monitor, that's your display. That's where you see everything. And then the tower, this houses the main components of the computer. If you have a Chromebook or a basic laptop, your computer is going to look a little different, right? You would have a screen, which is similar to the monitor. Some screens are actually touch screen. You would also have a keyboard, but it would be connected to your screen. And that is used to navigate, type, select, and utilize shortcut commands, just like a desktop computer's keyboard. Also, you would have inputs, so where you can put in the power cord, a USB, or an HDMI cord. Here is a visual list of different icons that we usually see, such as the red X that represents delete, the redo and undo buttons where you can, if you're working in a document, you can undo a mistake. Properties, scissors represent cut, copy, and paste. So these are some of the things that we should all be familiar with. The image of the printer means that you click on that and you can print, right? So familiarize yourself with these icons. And that way when you see them, no matter what device you're working on, you're familiar with them and you know their jobs. We all need shortcuts. Are you familiar with these shortcuts? That hitting Control C copies text, while hitting Control V will actually paste the text onto a space. Learning different shortcuts like these will just help you save time, and just being familiar with them will just help you get things done faster. A lot of these are some that I didn't even know existed. So familiarize yourself with these. And if you ever need this list, you can always visit the library and we can give you a printout. Next, we're going to talk about how to file and save assignments. Do you know the difference between a Microsoft Word doc and a Google Doc? In most of your classes, you are going to have to create a Microsoft Word doc, which is separate from a Google Doc. But you should be familiar with both of these. A lot of students still use Google accounts to, create their documents to do their work. But always ask your professor what they prefer. Always ask your professor what they prefer. But if you are going to use a Google Doc to type your assignment, you can still convert that doc and download it as a Microsoft Word doc or even a PDF. So just know the difference between the two and how you can navigate each type of document. First, let's walk through how to create an assignment using Microsoft Word, but using it in your Outlook account. So if you go to your email account or go to Outlook, you should see what some people call a waffle. That is that square of dots, so it's like 3 down, 3 across. Click on that in order to get to the Microsoft Word app through Outlook. So again, you'll go to your email, You'll find the waffle, which is circled in red, and you will click on that. Next, after you click on the waffle, you should see all of these Microsoft 365 apps pop up. So you will see OneDrive, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, even Canvas will be there. But we want to create a Microsoft Word document for our writing assignment. So we're going to click on Microsoft Word, which is circled in red. And then you're going to click on Create a Blank Document. And then it should automatically take you to a brand new Microsoft Word blank document. The first thing we tell our students to do is to go ahead and give your document a name. Sometimes students don't name their documents. They just say document 8 or document 75. Well, in order to save yourself a lot of time and less chaos when you're trying to find that assignment, give your document a name. So you will click on the document title that Microsoft Word has given you. You will click on that, and then a new box will appear where it says File Name. And you will give it a name, give it a unique name. Maybe give it the title of the assignment. If it's a reflection essay, say reflection essay. If it's an essay for a religious studies class, give it the title of that religious studies course. But you need a unique title. And the other thing I have underlined here, upload a file. So let's say that you started this file in Google Docs, or you started this file on your device, on your Microsoft Word app. You can always upload a file to Outlook's Microsoft Word app. So that's why I have that underlined in blue. So you can either create a blank document, or if you already started a document, you can upload it to your Outlook Microsoft Word. Okay, so now it's time to get started on this essay, especially if you're starting from scratch, right? So we started with a blank Microsoft Word new document. First, I always tell students, pay attention to your professor's instructions when it comes to formatting. What does your professor want the paper to look like? What is the visual? What type of font size? Do they want it double spaced? Do they want it in APA style or MLA style? These are the type of questions you need to ask, and these are the types of things you need to pay attention to when you're reading the instructions of the assignment. Some professors do deduct points when you do not format your paper correctly. How do you format a paper? First, start with the font and font size. So here is on using this app, you will see the font styles. If you click on it, it'll show all different types of font styles. Usually professors prefer Times New Roman, so that is why that is clicked there. And then the font size is right next door to the font. You click on that, you can choose 10, 11, 14. Usually 12 is preferred and required. So make sure you take care of your font size and your font style. Next, what about spacing? Click on these three little dots. They're tiny, but these three little dots will help with your paragraph options or with shaping your paragraphs. So when it comes to line spacing, you would click on the three little dots, click on line spacing, and then choose the spacing requirement. Usually, 9 times out of 10, your professor is going to want your essay to be double spaced. So you would click on the 2. All right, click on the 2 that is circled in red. So you have all of that taken care of. As far as 1-inch margins, the other requirement a lot of professors have, that will already be automatically in place. Usually it's the default for all of Microsoft Word documents. I would also say give your paper a title or whatever your professor is asking for. Your professor may actually ask for a title page if it's an APA paper. But make sure you have some sort of title. Even if it is APA, on the first page of your actual essay, you need a title. And then you will start writing your essay. What do you do after you finish your essay? You're ready to turn it in. Well, you need to download it to your device so that you can upload it later to Canvas. How do you do that using the Microsoft Word app through Outlook? Well, you go to the top of the page, you click on File, and then you click on Create a Copy. Now, of course, if you need to print it, you can print it if you're near a printer on campus. But again, if you're going to download it, you have to create a copy. And then you click on Download a Copy. So this copy is going to be downloaded to your device. So the previous slides talked about creating a document, a writing assignment using Microsoft Word through Outlook. Now we're going to talk about Google Docs. So most of us have a personal Google account, and most of us like to use, or many of us, I should say, like to use Google Docs to do our writing. That is fine as long as you still get it to your professor, right? And you submit it to Canvas. But I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you're going to use Google Docs, you would start a new document. Okay, you click on the plus sign there that is circled. And now you have a blank document, right? A brand spanking new document. First, just like I said with Microsoft Word, go ahead and give your document a name that you can remember, a name that makes sense. Okay, so let's say that this is a reflection essay assignment. So I'm going to type in reflection essay. Or you can get even more specific, reflection essay for English 101, right? But you need to get in the habit of giving your documents a name. This is just to help you keep yourself organized. And then again, follow your professor's formatting instructions. So at the top, and I know it's not very big, I apologize, but at the top you have the box that will change your font. So it says Times for Times New Roman. So, but again, if your professor prefers a different font style, you would click on that and change it. And then the font size, right? How big should the words be? And again, usually your professors prefer 12. Usually. What about spacing? Well, there's this little icon with 3 lines and then an arrow going up and an arrow going down. That's what you click on for spacing. And I'm going to have a different slide that zooms in on that. Just like I said with the Microsoft Word doc, make sure you put a title in the actual document. So my title is my reflection essay, and then I start typing. Again, with the spacing, because again, most professors prefer double spacing. You already clicked on those 3 lines with the arrows going up and down. This is what it looks like. So once you click on that, it's going to open up. You can click on single, 1.15 or 1.5. But again, your professor is likely going to require double. So when you click on double, that's going to double space all of your lines in your paragraphs. Now you've typed your essay, you're finished, you like it, you're ready to turn it in to get your grade. How do you get it from Google Docs to your professor on Canvas? Once you're finished, you go to the top of the Google Doc page, you click on File. A box is going to open up. You scroll down to Download, because you're actually going to have to download this. So you download it. Then you're going to have all these options pop up. Microsoft Word, Open Document, Rich Text, PDF, 9 times out of 10, your professor is going to want a Microsoft Word doc. In fact, we prefer you all and suggest and recommend that you download your Google Doc and turn it into a Microsoft Word doc. However, if your professor is asking for a PDF or a PDF is an option that they suggest, you can click on PDF. I have that circled in blue. But again, we do prefer you to use Microsoft Word. After you click on Microsoft Word, it is going to download it to your device, and make sure you save it in a file folder that you're familiar with, that you know to click on that and you'll find your assignment quickly. So you just did the work of creating a Microsoft Word document, or you created a Google Doc and then downloaded it as a Microsoft Word document. So your file is now saved to your device. It is on your computer, your laptop, your Chromebook, what have you. What do you do now? How do you get that assignment to Canvas? I recommend that when you're going to Canvas that you don't try to just type in Canvas in your search bar on the on Google or anything like that. We highly suggest that you go to FalconNet, right? That's through the Simmons website. So FalconNet, where you see these arrows, it's very tiny, but it's there. Once you click on FalconNet, you will see all of these options for different icons: Canvas, your student login through Sonus, your email, Clockify, Handshake, the library, all of these different things. This is why we love FalconNet so much, because it has everything all in one place. And we do also recommend that you bookmark FalconNet, or even just the Simmons website, to your device. When you go online, bookmark it so that you can always go to that page immediately. So we are trying to go to Canvas. We have to turn in our assignment. So we're going to click on Canvas after we get to FalconNet. Now I can see my Canvas account. I'm going to click on Courses, and I'm going to find the course that is requiring this assignment that I just spent all of my time on. So click on your course. For me, it's going to be English 101, English Composition. So I'm going to click on that. Next, I'm going to find the actual assignment. What is the title of the assignment? Usually your assignments, if anything is due, is going to pop up on the right side of your Canvas page. Or you can go find the module. Which module is that assignment listed in? And that is how you find your assignments. Those are just a couple of ways. But here's the assignment. So we have to write a literary response essay. I just did that through Microsoft Word, or I just did that through Google. And now it's time to submit. So I click on Submit Assignment. And again, make sure you read whatever instructions your professor has for the assignment. So next, after you click Submit Assignment, next it's going to pretty much take you down the page, but you're going to see this upload and then this rocket ship looking figure, right? Upload, just because you click on upload doesn't mean that automatically it's going to take you to your files and you can upload your assignment. This just needs to be highlighted, right? So click on upload. It's just going to highlight it. You still have to take the extra step of clicking on that rocket ship, okay? That is what's going to pull up your files so that you can choose your assignment. So again, make sure upload, that button is highlighted. You clicked on it, make sure it's highlighted. And then you have to do the extra step and click on the rocket ship. After you click the rocket ship on Canvas, Now it's time to find your file. So your files are automatically going to pop up like magic. You need to remember where that assignment is. Is it on your desktop? Is it in your downloads folder, your documents, your videos folder, your pictures? Where did you put it? So this is something you're going to have to remember. And if you can't remember, you can always search for the file in the search bar. I put my essay assignment in my downloads folder because remember, when you're using Google Docs or when you're using Microsoft Word on Outlook, it's going to download it to your computer. So automatically it's going to end up in your downloads folder. So I wanted to keep it there. So that's where I find my assignment, downloads folder. And here's my assignment. Remember, I gave it a name, reflection essay. So I'm going to click on that and let's see what happens next. So after you've uploaded your file to Canvas, you should see it here at the top under File Name. That's your confirmation that your assignment is there. You can see it. The little green circle is checked. All right. Now I have this underlined. For whatever reason, it didn't appear when I was putting together this presentation, but there usually is a box that you have to click that basically says that you agree that you did not plagiarize this assignment. It is your work. It is your original work. You did not copy and paste, all of those things. So if you do see that box, make sure you click it. For whatever reason, the box didn't appear here, so I created this. So if there's a box there that you see after you submitted your assignment and below the rocket ship, make sure that you click it. And again, it's you're agreeing that you did not plagiarize. So after you've done all that, your assignment is there, you click that box, then you hit submit assignment. The next screen you will see will be your assignment. So in this white space here where it says your writing assignment, you will see your actual first page. So if that's your title page, you'll see that, or if it's where your essay starts, you'll see that. Your first page, so you'll get a visual. That's another confirmation that, hey, good job, you submitted your assignment. And you'll also, another clue is if you see down here where it says new attempt, that means that, again, you successfully uploaded your assignment. But if you needed to change something or if you needed to upload it again, you can have a new attempt at it, a second chance, basically. And that's a setting that your professor is going to have to set for you. Not all professors will do this, but some professors, for their assignments, they allow multiple attempts until the assignment locks. So, but that is just another clue that your essay or your writing assignment is there. You did what you had to do, and you can breathe a sigh of relief. And that's all we have for you in this first presentation of Get Computer Lit. Thank you for watching this video. If you have questions, we do have ways for you to email us. You can email the Writing Center at writingcenter@simmonscollegeky.edu, or you can email the library at simmonscollegeky.edu. We will be happy to answer your questions and to assist you because that is what we're here for. Thanks.